What is up, budgeting family and friends? My name is Shirria. This is the Shirria Mac channel where I am documenting my debt-free journey, my six-figure debt-free journey as an entrepreneurial licensed clinical social worker with a virtual private practice, also working part-time. We are a family of 7. It is me, my husband, who is a welder / maintenance man, 2 adult children, 2 seniors in high school, and 1 5th grader. And our goal is to be out of this debt in 3 years. 3 years is the stretch goal. 3 years is, 3 years is the stretch goal, I guess. 5 years is the attainable goal. But 3 to 5 years. And we are documenting our journey with monthly budgets, weekly budgets, and debt updates. And I also share my private practice income at the end of every month as well. If that is something that you feel like you can be informed and inspired by, or just want to follow along, be sure to click the subscribe button and turn on your notifications so that you are notified every single time I post a video, which is every Sunday and Wednesday max. Well, minimum. And then if I'm trying to get caught up, I will even post a video on Friday as well. Today's video is January monthly budget closeout, and we will get right into it. All right, so this is January 2024's monthly budget closeout. If this template looks new to you, I did do set up my 2024 budget template video with me, and I will link that in the description box below and even put a card over here somewhere on the screen. But we are going to jump right into January 2024's budget. I want to start off by saying we were overdrawn for this month. And if you watched January week 5 weekly budget, then you're familiar with that. You know exactly what happened. So we will go right into the income. So the planned income for January was $8,750, and that was from weekly paychecks of $800 from my husband, weekly paychecks of myself, 2 part-time paychecks at $1,000. I don't know why this has 100. That does change the planned income. And then our rental income, which does go directly to us because the home is paid off. So that brought our planned income to $9,650. Our actual income was $10,482.36 for the month of January. And if you watch my weekly paychecks, then you know the breakdown of that. But my husband, the reason our paycheck number 1s are not recorded in January is because I included our weeks run from Thursday to Wednesday. And so we got paid for the week 1 of January at the end of December. So they were not included in January's income because I logged them with December dates. But we still earned $10,482.36. We go over to savings. The planned savings for this month was $1,220. That is $200 to my savings account. That is not including the $75 that is deposited into my high yield savings account from my part-time job. So it ends up being $150 total. So $200 into my high yield savings account, $200 into my husband's savings account, $20 to my M1 investment account, $250 towards Christmas 2024, $50 for my son, and we plan to increase that over the years, $200 for my daughter, and $300 for our investment property savings account. And so for the month, I actually did save $200. Again, that's not including the $150 from my part-time job. $200 for my husband, he did save that. $20 in M1 investments. $175 for Christmas 2024. $40 for my son, $150 towards my daughter, and then the $300 did go into the 808 savings account, which brought our actual savings for the month of January to $1,085, which I guess is still good. It's still 10% of our bring home pay. We go over to bills. Bills for this month was Wells Fargo Home Mortgage, Farm Bureau, which is our life insurance, Apple Storage, Cricket Wireless, which is my husband's cell phone plan. My plan is covered as a business expense. Music and arts for my son's instrument, Planet Fitness, $25.05. The investment property house insurance at $97.78. Our electric bill, which is the budget bill, for $330. Netflix at $16.54. Geico at $522.11. And then child support at $400 per month. 2 more weeks of child support. What we actually paid to our mortgage was $1,100.48. Farm Bureau, we paid $133.26, $9.99 to Apple Storage, $58 to Cricket Wireless, $41.63 for my son's instrument, $25.05 for Planet Fitness, $97.78 for our house insurance on the investment property, $330 to Wilson Electric, $16.54 to Netflix, $525.37 for Geico, and $340 for insurance. Towards child support, and that's because my bonus son, owed my husband some money for a car part. So that brought our actual expenses to $2,678, which is down from the planned amount. I thought it would have been higher, but so it's down from the planned amount, which was $2,714.36. We go over to expenses. The planned expenses for this month were $600 for groceries, $480 for gas, $50 for beauty maintenance, $50 for my son's hair, $200 for toiletries, $200 for household, $200 for fast food, $100 for date nights, $100 for spend for Will, $100 for spend for me, $320 in miscellaneous, and $250 in tithing. We actually spent $292.29 on groceries, $506.97 on gas, $31.66 on beauty maintenance, $50 for my son's hair, $17.72 in toiletries, $50.89 in household supplies, $280.76 on fast food. That is still something. We're probably just going to have to increase the budget to $300 a month on fast food. $53.57 on date night. No money for spending. $401.95 in miscellaneous, and $424.81 in tithe. So that brought our planned expenses were $2,650, and our actual expenses for the month were $2,110.62. We move over to debt. Debt was planned at $1,127.61. That was $46.03 on our Carnival Barclays card, which is our target debt at the moment. And we actually put $2,235.59 towards that card. Amazon American Express has a 0 balance. Will's Platinum Express has a 0 balance. My Platinum Express had a $304.64 balance, and that is paid to 0. Capital One, we thought had a 0 balance, but I think they charged us $28.69 in interest charges from paying off the balance. $30 on Ulta, but that is a zero balance. $50 on my state employees credit union card, which is also at a zero balance. $40 to my Hilton American Express, and we actually put $397.61 towards payments. Part of that is because I am no longer using the credit cards, period, but my daughter, who is in college, she lost her job, and so she has been using the card for gas and groceries because it does give 5 times the points for those transactions. Hilton, my husband's Hilton American Express has a zero balance. Sam's Club has a zero balance. Best Buy has a zero balance. My state employees, my PayPal, the payment is $30. I paid $51.17, and that's because we have $251.17 worth of interest accruing purchases for the month of February. So I paid that. My husband said his payment was $60, but when I went, it was actually $41, and he only paid $41. Citi Card had a payment of $50.60, and that's why I paid that. It was not $50.38. Delta American Express was at $40. The payment was $40, and that has a zero balance, so that went towards the Carnival card or one of the other debts. Honda Financial is actually $1,078.80 for the month, and I paid $1,182.98 for the month. HELOC is at $288, and we paid $288, and this is correct. This is our student loan. I make one student loan payment, one lump sum, but this, I broke them down because eventually will be paying the student loans off per loan. So I broke them down and I tracked them per loan. So the monthly payment is $357.78, I believe, and that is automatically deducted on the 6th. $95.15. And so I did but I was taking 15% of my part-time income and putting it on my student loan, my Target student loan. But I have since decided to take 15% and put it on my car. I have decided I do not want to get rid of my truck. I do want to keep the truck. And so because that has an interest rate of 8.4%, I have stopped putting 15% on my student loans and started putting 15% on my truck as a principal payment. So the combination of the principal payments, the 15% principal payments, and paying it weekly with the 5th week going towards principal should help to pay off the car sooner. When we finish paying off the credit cards, we will transition over to the debt avalanche, and the car payment, the Honda Financial payment, it has the highest interest rate, so that will be what we start on next after we get out of the credit card debt. So that is why you see $1,182.98. So the planned debt payments was $2,310.81, and the actual was $5,103.21. And if you watch my January budget, then you know that I had a goal to eliminate $2,500 worth of debt, and it looks like we were able to do just that. So we go up to the budget versus the actual. When we started this budget, I didn't have any planned rollover, and the actual rollover was a negative $325.65. Don't know how it came to that. The planned income was $10,000, and the actual income was $10,482.36. The income saved was planned for $1,220, and the actual income saved was $1,085. The income spent was $5,364.36, and the actual was $4,788.72. The debt paid was $2,310.81. was planned at $2,310.81, and the actual debt paid was $5,103.21. That would have left us with a planned leftover balance of $1,104.83, but we were actually overdrawn. Again, if you watch January week 5's budget, we were actually overdrawn just that 1 week, about $250, and it was covered from our overdraft protection savings account that is also attached. So that is it for January's budget. We go up to the breakdown, and again, 46.5% went towards debt, 19.2% went towards expenses, 24.4% went towards bills, and 9.9% went towards savings. I would love to see that at 10% every single week and month, but didn't make it this month. Pretty close though, so that's good to see. And then the expenses for the month of January, I don't really see where we did a whole lot of frivolous spending. And then the things that weren't necessarily in our budget that we did spend, like on eating out, it was worth it for my mental health, to be honest. There were just some days where I had long, very heavy days from clients, and I just could not push myself to cook. So my son and my husband and I would eat out. I did want to go to the movies. That wasn't planned. The date night for the movies was not planned, but it was worth it. And that's about it. I mean, brakes for William, AutoZone, car parts, car maintenance is definitely something that I think we need to incorporate need to develop a sinking fund for, because car expenses added up for this month. So, but not too much, like I said, frivolous spending in my opinion. We're not gazelle intense, so we're not on a bare bones budget, but there will be weeks, like I said, the last week of the month, really trying to navigate how to work around that, because we would have to get ahead some kind of way, and we may just decide to do that for the month of February. So that is it for January budget closeout. If you have watched thus far, I really do appreciate it. I don't really have, the only reflection that I have for the month of January, one, I'm glad that I met my goal of eliminating the debt at least by $2,500. And then the other thing, again, maybe consider a car maintenance sinking fund, and try to discuss breaking down the Geico payment into weekly installments that we are putting aside, so that we are not so strained or drained at the end of the month. So that is it. I will have that conversation with my husband while we're setting up February's budget. Those are definitely some things I want to bring to the meeting. If you have watched this far, again, I really appreciate it. If you are interested in following my six-figure debt-free journey, again, if you have not already subscribed, please consider subscribing to follow that journey. Again, the goal is to be out completely debt-free in 3 years, 3 to 5 years, but really pushing for 3 years. And that is it. If you have any questions about how I'm budgeting, what I'm budgeting, and why, make sure you list them down in the comment sections below. Thank you so very much for watching. Bye for now.